Welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy presents our MLB DFS hitter picks for Sunday, April 23rd, 2017. I am your host, Nick from CWE, and I'm here to break down my top three tournament bats for Sunday, April 23rd. I said that twice now. Let's talk baseball. If there's one thing that we're not lacking on today's slate, it's actual hitting options, because the pitching is just that bad that all over the place we've got nothing but opportunity to come with our hitters today, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's get things started off today with, let's go with Nick Castellanos, 3,200 on FanDuel. He will be taking on Kyle Gibson of the Minnesota Twins. Gibson's just given up such a lot of hard contact right now. Right-handed bats having a field day with him. Castellanos can be like a silent killer in the respect that he's got upside. He's got a lot of power in his bat, and he can get on base and score in a lot of different ways. He's not a guy who's going to get you stolen bases or anything like that, but he's got quickness. I mean, you'll see this guy hit several triples pretty much effortlessly throughout this year. Without Miguel Cabrera in the lineup, this isn't like basketball where it's like, all right, LeBron's out, Kyrie and Love, it's time to step up, and then they have to, and there's no choice in the matter, and you see at least somebody in that team's statistics increase. Baseball, it still comes down to a one-on-one matchup. Nick Castellanos, what is he going to do different without Miguel Cabrera in the lineup? There's nothing that he can do different, but this is just a good matchup for him, and I think he's a guy who doesn't see a ton of ownership a lot of the time, and so I'll have a pretty good amount of ownership with him myself tonight. Moving on from there, let's jump that back down in price to a guy that always makes me uncomfortable to put in my lineups, but if you want to have some big bats around him, and if you don't think the position is really up to your liking on this slate, I don't mind the idea of tossing out Jordy Mercer against Jordan Montgomery. Montgomery has been solid thus far this year. It's nothing against his abilities, but the Pirates seem to be coming together and putting up some big games. Mercer finally seeing the bat come around. We know that Jordy Mercer basically has made a living off of hitting left-handed pitching, and at his price on FanDuel of just 2,200 against a young pitcher, I mean, this is a battle that Mercer could most certainly win. Again, if you're going with Salazar, which as much as I hate it, I think is the right thing to do tonight in your cash games and probably the vast majority of your tournament lineups as well, it doesn't hurt to get some salary relief. I'm building a lineup that I really like now that does have both Nicholas Castellanos and the guy that will be our top hitter tonight in it, and I still have a pretty sizable amount to spend without having to really go down, aside from Mercer, but I think he's in a prime position tonight, should be able to deliver us something. Last up, really, really, really tough to ignore what Freddie Freeman is doing this season. I mean, this guy's been an absolute monster. He's been an absolute terror, hitting 400 with 7 home runs, 9 RBIs. He'll be taking on Zach Eflin, who, decent enough pitcher, but he's not a great pitcher. If you're going to try to decide, do I want more exposure to Freeman or Eflin? If you're suggesting to yourself that you should have more exposure to Eflin, probably a good idea to stop playing MLB DFS. Freeman is too hot. Eflin is too much of a questionable picture. Freeman should see points basically because he's patient at the plate. They may opt to pitch around him at times at this game. He can steal bases, and he's not going to do it regularly, but when he does, that's a great bonus. Just knocking the socks off the ball at this point, it's hard for me to look past him. He's our top hitter tonight. Once again, our top 3 hitting options: Nicholas Castellanos, Jordy Mercer, Freddie Freeman. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Head over to researchfantasy.com, sign up for our MLB mailing list. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Research and Win, and join us again tomorrow.